Hello, this is KYC News. We provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable information for the day. First and foremost, we want to achieve perfect health with a sincere desire. Eastern European media are covering Chairman of the Vietnamese National Assembly Vuong Dinhu's formal visit to Hungary. A 101-year-old receives a 5-year sentence from a German court for serving as a Nazi guard. Eastern European media are covering Chairman of the Vietnamese National Assembly Vuong Dinhu's formal visit to Hungary. The traditional friendship between the two nations has advanced significantly, according to a report in the Hungarian newspaper Magyar Nemzet, Hungarian Nation, especially after Prime Minister Urban Viktor visited Vietnam and General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Nguyen Phu Trong visited the European country. According to Magyar Nemzet, Hu's visit, which took place from June 25 to 28, would pave the way for the two nations' comprehensive partnership to begin a new chapter in the future, particularly after Vietnam and the European Union (EU) have finished ratifying the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement (EVIPA) and a Free Trade Agreement (EFTA). The Magyar Hang, Hungarian Voice, newspaper wrote that the complete collaboration between the two nations has been advancing rapidly and that Hungary was one of the first nations to ratify the EFTA and EVIPA. As a result of the two agreements, Vietnam has greater benefits in trade with the EU than other Southeast Asian countries, the report added. The largest commentary website in the Czech Republic, Parlamentní listy (CZ), also ran a story about the visit to Hungary by the top Vietnamese lawmaker. Despite the numerous uncertainties facing the global economy, it highlighted Vietnam's noteworthy accomplishments in economic development and multilateral diplomacy and added that the trip is extremely significant as it demonstrates Vietnamese leaders' attention to fostering relations with Eastern European nations. The Nepravda, Our Truth, website of the Czech Communist Party, on the other hand, emphasized the collaboration between Vietnam and Eastern Europe and strongly praised Vietnam's accomplishments in sustaining economic development, guaranteeing social security, and containing the COVID-19 pandemic. The report also said that Vietnam's long-standing ties with the Czech Republic are thriving and that the country's foreign policy, as carried out through parliamentary and party channels, has shown to be quite successful. Vietnam's accomplishments in terms of socio-economic development, COVID-19 management, and luring foreign investment to the green and renewable energy industry were acknowledged in an article published in Poland's Korso Kolbasowski newspaper. The tour to European nations was seen as evidence of the significance Vietnam attaches to its friendship and cooperation with European countries, notably Eastern European ones, and that the government is correct in its policy for multilateralizing and diversifying its external connections. An article on the potential for collaboration between Vietnam, ASEAN, and the EU in response to fresh challenges in the Indo-Pacific was published by the news outlet U.Today.net. It stated that ASEAN nations are recognized as partners who play a crucial position in the EU's Indo-Pacific policy. In the meantime, Hu's visit offers a chance for European leaders in Vietnam to interact and deepen political trust, enhancing the efficiency of Vietnam and EU collaboration on global and regional concerns. Asser Aslani, Deputy for International Affairs of Iran Drugs Control Headquarters, stated this on World Anti-Narcotics Day on Monday that Iran captured almost 1,000 tons of drugs last year. Iran has received acclaim from international organizations for its involvement in severing supply lines to the west and serves as a significant transit point for drugs coming from Afghanistan, its eastern border, to European nations. Alexander Fedulov, a representative of the UNODC, emphasized Iran's leadership in the fight against illegal drugs during a gathering on Sunday in Tehran, the capital of Iran. Even after 20 years of US-led forces occupation, Afghanistan continues to supply the great majority of the world's opium and heroin. Over the past 40 years, the struggle against drug trafficking has claimed the lives of thousands of Iranian soldiers. 101-year-old receives a 5-year sentence from a German court for serving as a Nazi guard. A 101-year-old man who worked at the Sachsenhausen concentration camp for the Nazis during World War II was found guilty on 3,518 counts of accessory to murder on Tuesday in Germany. He received a 5-year prison sentence from the Neuruppin Regional Court. The unnamed individual denied participating in the murder of thousands of prisoners while serving as an SS guard at the camp. The individual testified in the trial, which began in October, that he had worked as a farm laborer close to Vuong in northeastern Germany throughout the relevant time. According to the German news agency PA, the court did find evidence that he was an enlisted member of the Nazi Party's paramilitary wing who served at the camp outside of Berlin between 1942 and 1945. According to PA, presiding judge Uta Lechterman stated, "The court has come to the conclusion that, contrary to what you claim, you worked in the concentration camp as a guard for about 3 years." He added that by doing so, the defendant had contributed to the Nazis' system of terror and murder. Lechterman stated, "You actively participated in this mass extermination." Records pertaining to an SS guard that included the man's name, date of birth, and place of birth, among other documents, served as the foundation for the prosecution's case. For logistical considerations, the 101-year home old town of Brandenburg/Havel served as the trial's venue. The man could only participate in the trial for around 2.5 hours each day since he was only partially competent to stand trial. For reasons of health and hospital stays, the trial was stopped multiple times. After Adolf Hitler handed the SS complete control over the Nazi concentration camp system, Sachsenhausen was established in 1936 as the first new site immediately north of Berlin. It was designed to serve as a training ground and model facility for the intricate network the Nazis erected throughout Germany, Austria, and the conquered countries. Between 1936 and 1945, more than 200,000 individuals were detained there. Numerous medical experiments, systematic SS extermination operations, including shootings, hangings, and gassing, resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands of prisoners in addition to those who perished through famine, disease, forced labor, and other factors. Scholars believe that estimates of 40,000 to 50,000 are probably more accurate than higher estimates of some 100,000 fatalities. As in other camps, Jewish inmates at Sachsenhausen received special harsh treatment, and those who were still alive by 1942 were mostly transferred to the Auschwitz death camp. The Soviets conquered Sachsenhausen in April 1945 and turned it into one of their own cruel concentration camps. The decision on Tuesday is based on recent German legal precedent that says anyone who assisted in the operation of a Nazi concentration camp can be charged as an accessory to murder. Prior to the NATO talks, Zelensky calls for a missile defense system. In negotiations with the head of NATO, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reportedly emphasized the necessity for a strong missile defense system for Ukraine to avoid Russian terrorist attacks. Prior to the start of a summit of NATO leaders in Madrid, where Ukraine is anticipated to be among the main topics of discussion, the phone call with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg was made. After speaking with Zelensky, Stoltenberg wrote, "At our NATO summit we will strengthen up assistance for our close partner Ukraine, now and for the longer future. NATO friends are by your side." According to Stoltenberg, the Western military alliance is increasing the number of its troops on standby alert by 7 times, from 40,000 to more than 300,000. The hunt for survivors at a retail center where Russian forces launched a missile assault on Monday that killed at least 18 people continued on Tuesday in central Ukraine by rescue teams. Zelensky claimed that at the time of the attack, which he described as calculated, there were more than 1,000 individuals inside the mall in the city of Kremenchuk. Zelensky said in his nightly video address on Monday that this is not an accident hit, this is a targeted Russian strike right onto this shopping mall. One of the most daring terrorist strikes in European history, he continued, referring to the attack. The number of fatalities is difficult to even comprehend, according to Zelensky, who also claimed that the retail complex, which is located 300 kilometers southeast of Kyiv, poses no threat to the Russian army and has no strategic significance. The world is shocked by Russia's missile assault today, which targeted a busy Ukrainian retail mall, the latest in a run of crimes, tweeted U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. "We'll keep standing by our Ukrainian allies while demanding accountability from Russia and its atrocity perpetrators." Speaking on behalf of the organization, Stefan Dujarric described the incident as deplorable and announced that the UN Security Council would convene on Tuesday at Ukraine's request. Team of 7. The missile attack happened as the Group of Seven's top industrialized nations gathered in the Bavarian Alps of Germany and vowed to continue supporting Ukraine. In a joint statement, the group's leaders referred to Monday's missile attack as abominable and stated, "We stand with Ukraine in grieving the innocent victims of this barbaric act." Monday saw the introduction of fresh sanctions against Russia for its 4-month invasion of Ukraine by the United States and the other G7 members. These include steps to deny Moscow the supplies and services its industrial and technological sectors require. As part of a G7 effort to assist Ukraine with its short-term financial needs, the United States will contribute $7.5 billion, according to the White House, and the governments are making an unprecedented, long-term security commitment to providing Ukraine with financial, humanitarian, military, and diplomatic support for as long as it takes. The G7 declared in a joint statement, "We remain horrified by and continue to condemn the violent, unjustified, unprovoked, and unlawful war of aggression on Ukraine by Russia and with Belarus assistance. We deplore Russia's persistent efforts to redefine borders by force and will not recognize them." Earlier on Monday, Zelensky spoke to the conference via video link and asked for more guns as well as assistance in getting foodstuffs through Russian blockades.